Hello, you Star Trek fans and YouTube fans out there. This is a review from Star Trek 99. Now, as I'm sure you're all aware, tomorrow, or if you're watching this in the future, by the time that you probably watch this, the Star Trek film has come out, which is Star Trek Into Darkness, which is what I featured in my last update of being about. Now, this new one is going to be a great looking film by the looks of things. It's going to be jam packed with lots of great action, including special effects, also along with some new characters, such as we're going to be introduced Carol Marcus in the alternate reality, and a new character, John Harrison, who is the main baddie in the new film. The storyline, I'm not quite 100% sure yet, but I'm sure as you all have been, as you're all Star Trek fans out there, you have seen the adverts and small clips that have been released for the film. Now, if you've been someone like me, which I'm sure you've all been doing, you've been trying to piece the film together, which most people do. I mean, I've been, in the spare time, trying to piece it together, and I will put some links below this video of how I think things will go. But you see, the first scene of Kirk in one of the adverts of McCoy and Kirk running through a alien planet. Now, I'm thinking really on about now, as I'm not going to say any more for a few seconds, because I'm going to let people probably think, actually, I better not watch it because it might spoil a bit for me. But, just going to let you click off. If you've not clicked off, then you obviously want to watch this, so there we go. So, anyway, in the first part, we see Kirk and McCoy running through an alien planet. And then we also see Spock being lowered into like a volcano, and Uhura soon following, I'm presuming. We then see, then we also see more of that. Then we jump to the clip, which I'm going to put there as well, of where we see Kirk and McCoy both coming onto the bridge because Spock has been stranded in the volcano area. And I'm sure you've all noticed, we see Scotty, played by Simon Pegg, who is standing near the view screen, and then we see a massive fish come flying past. Now, I'm no space physicist, and I am no huge scientist, but I am certain fish do not come flying in, and there's no ocean in the middle of space. Now, I'm sure we've also all seen the starship that comes crashing in to the, I'm presuming, San Francisco Bay. And I'm guessing most people have all thought to themselves, oh, whoa, that's the Enterprise. The Enterprise comes crashing in because we see the Enterprise drop from the atmosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the Enterprise. If you have noticed when it first came out, that starship is not the Enterprise. The whole configuration is all wrong. That is a completely different starship. The Enterprise is as you see here, or as you see on different images. For one, that's a big giveaway, is the Enterprise is in the cells. Kirk, Spock out of the way. The Enterprise is in the cells on here are like a sort of V kind of shape, right? The Enterprise we see on the film, the ship we see crash in the film, is not the Enterprise. It is a completely different starship because the shape of the nacelles is all wrong. It is more like a sort of bendy kind of thing to it. It's completely different. It's like a straight then bend to it. It's a really different shape to it, design of hull. And if you've also noticed, when the ship hits, it's not this nice white. You're probably thinking, oh yeah, it's the battle damage. That's the Enterprise. You got battle damage. It's not the Enterprise. It is USS Vengeance. Or I think it's Vengeance, or so a different type of starship. Anyway, John Harrison's starship. He goes against the Enterprise. I'm guessing either he deliberately crashes his ship, which is weird, but either way, his ship crashes in. I'm not sure if the Enterprise crashes into the bay as well, but we know his ship crashes in. That is not the Enterprise. I am willing to bet my Star Trek knowledge on that. That is not the USS Enterprise. That is the USS Vengeance. Okay. And again, if you're watching this and you didn't want a spoiler, don't put any bad feedback because you had your chance to click off and you're listening now. So it's your own fault. You didn't want to know. Ongoingwards. We see the Enterprise rise out of the ocean. That is not the Enterprise when you might think, oh, she's crashed and she rises out of the ocean. That is again going back to my theory of when Scotty looks out the view screen and he sees a fish. That is with the Enterprise on the alien planet. Instead of doing an orbit, they have done one where they are actually inside the ocean. The way that happens is the Enterprise goes inside the ocean. Instead of doing, I think, a gradual orbit around the actual atmosphere of this planet, the Enterprise goes underneath the actual ocean. Not quite 100% sure why the Enterprise goes into the ocean. I'm not sure why she doesn't just do a massive orbit. It's beyond me, but I think it's got to have some reason in the film as to why they're doing this. But again, it's not a bad idea to be thinking about putting a Starship under there. It's a new fact. It's something to play with. It's going to be quite interesting to see. But those are what I've pieced together so far of what's going to happen in the movie. Another piece I have also thinking of putting together is the part where we see Kirk and Spock and Uhura on the alien planet with their different weapons and not in Starfleet uniform. I presume that is obviously after the Enterprise has been damaged and crashes into the crashes. I presume that part is where they go out of actual Starfleet and try and do this themselves. I'm not sure whether John Harrison is with them or against them at this point, but that is another point I am bringing up, and I think that leads into somewhere else in the film. The other thing I'd like to bring up is we see the Klingons in this film, which is going to be a good one, and it is going to be interesting to finally see, the Klingon design of ships in this, along with also seeing as the weapons are quite similar in design. We will also be seeing Starfleet headquarters, different area of time. We'll also be seeing different weapons brought into Star Trek as well, like new phaser rifles, phaser or not phasers, disruptors, as well as various other weapons. We also have a scene where Chekhov is wearing a red shirt. Not quite sure why that is. I'm not 100% sure why. That might have something to do with the Enterprise being damaged. Maybe he gets raised in rank or something. I'm not quite sure. But again, it's an alternate reality, so we've got to just try and make a guess on this. The other thing that we see is I've been thinking that maybe John Harrison, perhaps, this is just a perhaps, maybe he's like a terrorist, which he is actually a terrorist, but I'm thinking perhaps maybe he's not going to be completely, utterly pure evil as such. I think he's just trying to get his point across on this one, and perhaps he does decide to help. I think he's just trying to get Starfleet to listen at this point. He is one of the top agents. I think he's just trying to get Starfleet to listen at this point in time on here, and I think Kirk takes it because he does have one scene where he tells Kirk that he's got 72 crew on board who are I'm not quite sure if they're working for a different faction of Starfleet or a different area, but Kirk believes him for some reason and they go to investigate. I'm presuming that might be a point where he might say, obviously, look, see, this is what I mean, you gotta believe me, and Kirk might decide that's no reason why I'm thinking perhaps why we see them without the uniforms on. Perhaps this is the point where they say insurrection, and we see Picard take his pips off in order to say, this is completely off record this time. I'm going to be doing this one off the book. This is without Starfleet's notification. I'm doing this completely at my own risk and own will. I think it might be that. So there might be a corrupt commander somewhere in Starfleet, and this might be what it is. John Harris might be doing this. Again, this is just ideas I'm throwing out into the open. This what it could be, but that's what I think. I have seen some things that it could be a person who's part of section is it 13 or section 31? I've not watched my DS9 in ages. I will see this a bit bought in, but people have been throwing that out there. He might remember that. I think I agree with terrorism. I think terrorism is a horrible, cruel way of life and getting your points across, but if this, on this one, on this occasion, perhaps that's what it's going to probably be. Perhaps he does this, gets himself caught, because he does. On one scene we also see him say to Kirk. Kirk says, "I've been a mistake. I should have probably killed you." And then, obviously, in reply, Benedict says, "No, that's not the reason. There's another reason why I did it. I didn't do it because you didn't kill me because of no reason. There was a reason why you didn't kill me. So now you've done that. You've spared my life. I'm going to tell you why I've done this all." As such, I think he's going to be one of those kind of people where where we all think, "Oh yeah, he's a bad guy. He needs to be stopped. Killed." I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say perhaps he's not. Perhaps he's the kind of person who's just trying to get his point across, and there's a crook commander somewhere in Starfleet, and Kirk then, like obviously a handful of his crew, obviously then say, right, we're joining you on this one. We're going to go forth, and we're going to do this off Starfleet, off the bulk. We're going to do this. Like on Insurrection, it's going to be a handful of officers, and they're going to say, right, let's do this. It's not right what Starfleet's doing at this point, or it's not right. There's a crook commander somewhere. He's making the rest of Starfleet think, you know what, that's not a bad idea, but it's not right. As I say, feel free to put comments at the bottom. I mean, obviously after the movies come out, obviously I will probably put an update after that as such. I might even delete this video. I'm not quite 100% sure, but obviously afterwards I will put one. You can put comments on, but for now, just throw your ideas. I'm sure I've done this earlier, really, this sort of video, but throw your ideas out there by all means and put them on and say what it would have been. Obviously, after you see the movie, this hasn't been deleted. Put what you thought at the time he was going to be, because obviously that's my suggestion. I think he's going to be a person who's just going to be a kind of person who's going to try and get his point across, and then obviously as his point finally seen, because he does say he's one of the top agents at the time, and then you think to yourself, well, he's a top agent, why has he gone all of a sudden rogue, unless it's something he knows isn't right, or something has happened. That's my idea, and I'm putting it out there. Yeah, that's my idea. Obviously, tomorrow I will be going to see the new Star Trek film. Not 100% sure the time. I would like to go and see the earliest possible showing of the movie, but again, if I can, I can. If I can't, I can't. But either way, I will be seeing the movie when it first comes out, and either way, whatever it's going to be, just by the effects alone, I think my jaw is going to drop and go, wow, Abrahams has done it again. He's made a great looking sci-fi, movie. Obviously, I don't agree with it. He has kind of ruined it a bit, but it's good to look, see, it's good to look at other what if things, what if kind of moments, kind of what if universes, different bits. It's good to look at that, but it's good. I mean, even if you're a Star Trek fan, you gotta say the effects are good. He puts on these, and the characters are good. I mean, he hasn't, at least he hasn't, changed the design of the costume too much. I mean, yeah, he's designed them differently, but he hasn't designed differently too much. I mean, the phases, everything as well, but they're good. They're good. I mean, I've also been playing the game, new Star Trek game. That's good so far. There's bits on it I'm not quite 100% sure about at the moment, but at the moment I'm about halfway through it. I haven't been playing it all the time. So I've been playing it all the time, I would have finished it ages ago, but at the moment I've been playing it once or twice. So about halfway through at the moment. It's a good game if you like those kind of things, like Star Trek or science fiction. But there is certain levels where you look at and you go, that's a bit weird, that's not right. You go, oh, I suppose that works. I mean, but there are levels, there are points where you like it, and there are points where you go, that's not that great, it's a bit boring, blah 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 blah. My next review will probably be on Star Trek again. If not, I will probably do one on Iron Man 3, because I've seen that this week twice. It was a really good movie. There are slight flaws in it in whole wise, but it's a good movie. I mean, it has got one of those ends where you go, why? Or that's a bit of a stupid thing to do. But, not dramatically saying that's a bit stupid sort of thing, but you do look in your face saying, that's a bit silly. That's kind of really leading to the next film there, buddy. But yeah, my next one will probably be based around that. Talking about Iron Man from start to finish, up to what it is now. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you all enjoy the new Star Trek film as much as I'm hoping to enjoy it. Again, it's great to be back, and thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice time, and goodbye and good luck with seeing the new Star Trek film.